Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. Oh, I gotta turn on the Christmas tree. How you doing? Happy holidays, everybody. Here we go. Like the dumbest design on earth. I don't know if you know about a wireless Apple mouse. But instead of actually having the charging port in the front or the back so you can still use the mouse to charge it, it's on the bottom, so to charge it, you can't use the mouse. So that's why I've got my robe over top of the iMac there, if you wondered what I was doing. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. Talk about a few things. They made a big discovery on something that I'd been talking about for many years. Talk about phase disparity on the magnetic field. You actually have a proportionality of 1 to 5, and it also too corresponds to time. So there's actually a time disparity, and I've been talking about this probably for 5 years, but modern science just discovered it. Claimed it as their own discovery. There's a long list of those. Yeah. By the way, I'm not affiliated with the company or anything. I've bought a couple more for my solar use. However, I'm not using this one for solar. These Ocmo batteries, I actually have a link below. They're actually on sale, and they're slightly better build. They're also too lithium iron phosphate, LiFePO as I call them, 200 amp hour. I got the link below for that on the Ocmo. They make the power stations too that I've been talking about for years that everybody's happy with. I got a couple Ocmo power stations, but that's a 200 amp hour battery. I got that in the link below. This is Christmas Eve. It'll be Christmas here in a few hours. I made a video a few days ago, I'd like to talk about it, regarding a book. And at least 1,000 people, if not more, wanted me to review the book. It's like, what do you think of this book? And I reviewed it. And the internet likes to, what I call, stir the poo. You know how like teenagers on the school grounds or trying to get, like push two people together and they'll go, wait, wait! And, they want to see something. And this is, somebody sent me that book and I reviewed it a few days ago. So they thought, as the internet does, just like children in a schoolyard, they thought they'd stir the poo, so they posted my video of the review of that book over on the guy's website. The guy that's supposedly the most intelligent person on earth, which I couldn't care. When you actually go after beliefs, you're not actually going after the person. Anyway, they posted a response, which actually just tickled me. I actually hadn't been that, I laughed all day long and then some over, the egregious response. I like to talk about a discovery that was just made. By the way, it's the end of the year. I make a lot of videos that give people a clear insight into nature. I actually do a whole lot of deep thinking, even the people that can't stand me. They say I'm smug, and I probably am smug, but I love helping people. And any donation that's in the description below, even if it's like a gift card, I'm like 75%. I've been saving since October to try to take a vacation. I like to take a vacation. I live really simply. I did buy myself a holiday gift. I got a 4-pack of filet mignons. So I probably shouldn't have bought that. Those things are just so expensive. It was $60 for a 4-pack of them at Costco of filet mignons. It was really nice. I had one of those today and some chicken soup. Try to lead a simple life, but I'm trying to save up and take a vacation. Obviously in January, I guess the end of the year is just impossible. Just walk around, get exercise, get some sun, eat some street pizza. So I want to thank you, and like I said, I read every comment, and I want to thank you for any generosity of anybody in the past, and I really greatly appreciate that. I know things are tight for everybody. I mean, I do know that. I'm wearing my Goofy shirt that I got for like $4. I know it's really goofy. It's got goofy stuff on it, so you can go ahead and make fun of that shirt. Anyway, all that information, also to contact for me, is in the description below. I was reading about this, that science discovered negative time. And if you send me an email or something, I'll give you a link to the article. Observed in new quantum experiments, surprising scientists, negative time. Well, what they've discovered is the same thing, and I've probably got 100 videos talking about this, about phase disparity on the magnetic field. It is a proportionality of 1 to 5. This is the reason why plant growth and seed growth is, so much superior. You put it on the South Pole, right? And I've made countless experiments with seeds, and thousands of you who didn't believe me. It's like, this guy's not selling anything. All I have to do is get a moderately powerful magnet off of eBay and do this experiment myself with seed. Like, oh my God, it works. Literally thousands of you have done that. Yep. So scientists just discovered negative time, but I've been talking about it for 5 years. For at least 5 or 6 years, I've told you, and a lot of people that are watching this video know that fact, that I said that since bismuth is the most diamagnetic basically means it hates magnetism. Yeah, something that is diamagnetic means it is a supra-dielectric. I said a new form of computer would be discovered with the bismuth or bismuth compound. And 2 years, roughly, after I've been talking about that countless times, it was discovered. It's a bismuth molecular compound that makes future computer chips just run infinitely faster than they do now. So there's an accurate discovery I made. Talking about this for years too. This was discovered like 1.5 years, but I've been talking about it for 5. That conjugate light would produce matter, and they actually used constructive interference between 2 super powerful lasers, and lo and behold, it produced matter. I said accurately that several magnitudes above that of gamma radiation, you'll actually have a circular frequency. In other words, the induction can no longer occur, which the presumed speed of light is not actually speed, it's a rate of induction. Like sound is not an emission, it's an induction. The so-called speed of sound is the maximum rate of induction of a disturbance of a medium. In the case of sound, of course, the medium is the air. In case of light, the medium is the ether. There's no such thing as light in the ether. Light itself, of course, is a compound field modality of the medium itself. So that accurate prediction I made, of course, came true. It was discovered about 1 year ago, which I've been talking about for 5 years, that when they finally get a halfway decent image of a black hole, and they got one, it was really fuzzy. And then they were able to do some more advanced, I think it was interferometry, image. And I said many years ago, so when they get a clear image of a black hole, it'll look exactly like the hole, kind of like this one right here is an image from one of my countless hundreds of videos. Look like the center of a ferrocell with the hypertrochoid pattern, which is spirograph pattern, but it's called a hypertrochoid pattern. Lo and behold, that's exactly what it looked like. So I told everybody that years ahead of its discovery. And now, of course, they've discovered something I've been talking about for many years. Got the video proof that I mentioned it years before it was discovered. Negative time. It's actually not negative time, but they're not going backwards in time. What it is it's a time that's infinitely slower than the South Pole, for example. What they're actually looking at is atomic level time disparity. And of course, every atom is just an electrostatic dynamo. It's no different than the phase disparity due to geomagnetic precessional and more frequency you see on magnetic poles. So these are 5 examples of which there is enormous evidence that I told you that this is what nature is. And then many years afterwards, these presumed brilliant scientists came out and said, oh, look what we discovered. It's like, I've been talking about that for years. The point I'm actually making in all of this is the fat, bald, tattooed guy that's wearing a goofy-looking shirt that belongs in Key West actually does know how nature works. The big secrets, I mean, all the things you take for granted I sacrificed. Go into deep thought and use the ancient lost art of retroduction, and I'm nearly done with that booklet, which is always free. All the articles and books that I write are for free for you. Before getting into my video review of like 5 days ago of that book and the very hilarious response I got. I want to say that, and this is undeniable, this is an absolute of nature from one end of the universe to the other, that it's an absolute insult, okay, to nature itself and the divine, whatever you think it is, to espouse or support any picture of, explanation of the universe more complex than a Post-it note. I'm sure you know what a Post-it note is, a piece of paper with sticky strip on the back of it so you can put a note up. More complex than tic-tac-toe. If you ever paint a picture, or anybody, like that book review that I did of that horrible book a few days ago, and this is not about that book, but anytime anybody espouses, yeah, you've broken Occam's razor, you've created an insult to nature. I like to quote Nikola Tesla. This is a brilliant quote from Nikola Tesla. And he dealt with the same thing back in his time. He said, the scientists of today, today's scientists are not actually scientists, which is a quest for truth. They're mathematicians, which is where they came up with this horrific atomistic idealism, which is completely unconnected with nature itself. It's absolutely, let me put my little Christmas tree here, it might be more visible. There we go. Atomism. Well, maybe it won't work. Maybe it will. Maybe I can put it right there. There we go. Try not to knock it off. Today's scientists think deeply instead of clearly, Tesla said. One must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite insane. The slightly less illuminated, or what I would say unintelligent, people of the world, they'll read extremely complicated books of what I call word vomit. It's logomachy, many countless books. I'm not actually pinpointing any book here. And so look at this intelligence. This has been peer-reviewed, and this book is full of big words. And I will hearken back to that quote from Nikola Tesla, which you should remember until your dying day. And I'm not disparaging intellect. What I'm saying is intellect is not wisdom, and that's not my opinion. That's a fact. Episteme is not gnosis. Those two things are not one. And you're not taught that in high school or college. You say, today's scientists think deeply instead of clearly. By the way, wards where people that are mentally disturbed inhabit, they are full of quite incredibly intelligent people that can do chess without a chessboard. They can actually visualize it and beat you at chess just by mentally picturing the chessboard. Very smart people. But they're there in the ward for mental disturbance for a reason. Their head is full of facts, but they don't know how anything works. These are the same people that stick their finger in the light socket. It's like, why would you do that? You're so smart. It's like, well, I want to see what happened. I know. And that confuses people, and it shouldn't. It doesn't confuse me. Anyway, I laughed immensely because when I went after that book, anyway, somebody posted my video over on a board, and the guy sent me a screenshot of it here, and I laughed so hard, and I posted this up on my Facebook. It was the guy in my video. I quoted his book. I went boom, quoted his book, boom, 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 boom. So the response this guy gave is just, it's like something a teenager would say. I've listened to enough Theurgy's hit pieces to know he has no idea what metaphysics is, what's he to me is, cranky beliefs he has, can't possibly defend. He has no respect for me or my insights, which of course, this is ad hominem and fallacy. A debate would benefit him far more than it would me, and I'm not interested in debating him. I had no interest in debating him to begin with. Given his smug, and I am smug, partially so, superior attitude, I have no reason to do him any favors. I have refrained from criticizing him, and criticizing what someone wrote is their belief system. It is not who they are. I've been talking about this for years. This is you, and this is your belief system. Ignorant people think these two are one thing, and the biggest lesson you're going to learn in life is what you believe and who you are inherently are not the same thing. But he thinks they are, which is not intelligent, by the way. It's not wise, specifically. Now I understand this was a mistake, won't be repeated. You should be relieved that I have no interest in him. This is what kids would say in elementary school. He should be so glad I'm not interested in thumping him. Because if I was interested, he'd be sorry. He said, I'd mop the floor with him, he says, for the rest of his life. This is funny. I thought it was hilarious. The rest of his life, he'd have to wear a burlap bag over his head to hide his shame. This is funny. Now, maybe a normal person would get angry at this. Well, how dare you? I laughed. I tickled myself silly, laughing for over a day. And I enjoyed it immensely. I absolutely loved it. I never even wanted to review this book to begin with. Except for, you know, I listened to every comment. A person sent me the book for free. Like, oh God, I'm familiar with this book. You know. So I've written like 9 books, 5 of which are on metaphysics, but the guy says, I don't know what metaphysics is. Well, that's a claim. You know, you have to substantiate a claim. You know, if you want the Aristotelian definition of metaphysics, I'll give it. If you want the Pythagorean definition of metaphysics, I'll give it. I know both, including what the term means in Greek. It's metaphysika. It's about ontological substrates below phenomena. And even the people that despise me know I know what the term metaphysics is. I mean, I use the word basically in every video. He says I don't know what his book is about. Well, I've read his book, and I got his book, and I quoted the book. I could have made 10 videos just quoting the book and like, quote boom, but of course, you know, nobody wants to watch that. The funny thing to me is all, you know, the childish stuff that he says in that. And he says, he has no respect for my insights. Well, nobody cares about your insights, meaning his, or my insights. Metaphysics is about seeking absolute truths. Nobody's interested in anybody's subjective insights. It's not about that. Oh, he used the bandwagon fallacy. He says he has, meaning me, an embarrassing shortage of viewers. Well, this is an ad populum or bandwagon fallacy. That's like, I'm going to join whatever belief system has the most followers, because that's called truth by consensus, of which doesn't exist. As I've told you millions of times, nothing true is popular, and nothing popular is true. So this, he's saying, and this is so unintelligent and unwise, I got more viewers than that guy, that bald tattooed guy. Well, who cares? Something either stands on its own or it doesn't. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you got or who's got the most viewers. I mean, that's a really unintelligent statement. He says he offers nothing that would make it worth my while. Well, that's another fallacy. I never cared about him or his book. I only reviewed it in a video because countless thousands of, well, thousands, I mean, over 1,000 wanted me to do that. He's given his smug, I mean, this is his ad hominem. He says, he should be relieved I have no interest in him. Well, that's like something a teenager would say, like a schoolyard bully would say. Like, he should be grateful I didn't thump him because he'd be sorry. Then he says, I'd mop the floor with him. And he'd have to wear a burlap bag over his head. You know, that's so childish. And I mean this seriously. Look in my eyes. I'm going to take my glasses off. I mean this seriously. When I read that, I was so tickled and I laughed so hard because it was so much ad hominem, so much fallacy. He didn't back up anything that I said in the video, which I don't care. I don't want to debate the guy. I could care less about him. I thought, and I said to people that called me, I said, if this is what the world thinks is the sharpest mind on earth, then today, not literally, today I feel like a god. I felt so good that I said to people laughingly, not literally of course, I said, if this is supposedly the most intelligent individual, I said, I feel like a god today. I could drop dead tomorrow and this would be the coolest day of my life. Not literally the coolest day of my life. But it's just like, that's just so childish. Everything, someone screenshotted it off of his board and sent it to me, and I enjoyed it immensely. The only reason they sent him a link to my video, like I said, is the internet likes people to battle. You're like, fight, fight, fight. They love that. That's just like elementary school behavior. And, you know, I got one Christmas gift to open tomorrow from a friend of mine that's moving to Kentucky. I thought, well, this is a great Christmas gift. I guess a normal person would get mad at that, but I found it absolutely awesome because it was so unintelligent and so ridiculous, hyperbolic, that it just tickled me endlessly. Been doing a lot of live streams. I'm going to do one late tonight. I did one late last night. I guess there's a lot of people out there that are alone, and I get that. I've been alone most of my life. Even when I was married, taking care of my wife, I was alone. I got no brothers or sisters or wife or kids to spend the holidays with. I ate a filet mignon, which is like high class, but just like a holiday thing. And I have to do a live stream late tonight. I still got some leather work to do. But I just wanted to say thanks to you all. I love communicating with you all and read all your comments, even the ones that are mean. And it doesn't bother me. I'm really uninsultable. To be a truth seeker, you have to be honest with yourself. When you think you're somebody, then you get upset or offended. I don't think I'm anybody. I do have a sharp mind and I can see things clearly. And I love the fact that I've discovered many of the secrets of the universe. I just gave you a list of all the things that these scientists say that, oh, look what we just did. I've been talking about that for years. I've been vindicated. I've been proven right, and that, that ad hominem and fallacious comments that guy wrote, I was like, vindicated. Vindicated. This is intellect versus wisdom, and boy, there is a big difference. Big difference. Don't make claims unless you can substantiate them. Hilarious. Once again, I hope you like my videos. The books and articles that I write are for free. I spend a lot of hours in live stream. Usually there's never any donation, and I don't care. I delete them afterwards. They're never monetized. So I spend a lot of time on something that doesn't make me a single penny, but I do it anyway because I don't care. I like to communicate with people. They give me ideas of topics to talk about. It's like, oh, I know a lot about that. I'd like to make a video about that. So that's helpful. And so if you ever like my videos, and I have to be perfectly honest, I am saving for vacation. Like I said, I'm about 75% of the way there. Anything helps. If not, that's okay. I appreciate you. YouTube's supposed to be a place where you give helpful information, or you make people think, or you give them insights on things to build, or things. I never thought about that before. That's a great way to do it. Like the device I created for clearing your plumbing. I think that's my squirrel outside. Cleaning the plumbing using 2 magnets. So, thank you so much for watching, and donation link is in the description below. If you ever want to contact me, my email's there below. Also, too, a lot of free books and articles. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to you all. Lux Veritas. I think I got a squirrel outside.